Hey there everyone, it's Annette Green back again. It is week 23 in the year of 2024 and every week I share a crafty or craft related video, and I am back to my junk journal this week. I've done several junk journal videos now, a walkthrough of the whole thing, hidden paper clip and different styles of paper clip video. Many of those in here in my junk journal. I've done a video on making clusters for my junk journal, such as these, with some sewing and lace and all kinds of things. And then I have done, there's another cluster. Recently I did a kind of my version of a specimen card video. So I'm going to link all those junk journal videos below so you can check them out. And today we're going to do some altered playing cards. Okay, so playing cards. Here's the thought that I had. I was very excited. I had gone to a thrift store when I was in Wisconsin teaching, and I came across this jumbo Crown brand playing card pack. It's, I guess, fairly vintage, and they are huge. So I would say these measure 4 3/4 by 6 3/4, and so I thought, oh, I'm going to just alter those, some of those, and put them in my journal. But as you can see, they are way too big for my little journal, you know, and I want to do these as sort of like flaps and flips this time with a little journaling place on the back, and they're just so big. So no worries. This is a complete deck. I wouldn't have used probably these anyway. I would have done scans because I'm going to cover the backs. So to get them the size that I wanted and I thought would be manageable, I just scanned a few. And I scanned these just on my home printer, and I printed them out onto like 100-pound cardstock. I did use, instead of white, I used a little bit of an off-white so that it kept that vintage feel and it wasn't too bright. But you can see the backs are going to be plain, and I'm going to do something to them. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to cut these out, and while I do that, I'll talk to you. If you are new here, welcome to my channel. If you are returning, of course, welcome back. I do appreciate you coming back and seeing me each week. I've done all kinds of things over the course of 2024. And they might range from home decor to planner pages to cards, all kinds of techniques, jelly printing. I'm just an overall crafter, but I am super fond of junk journals and anything kind of vintage, but giving it sort of a modern, colorful twist is my thing. Okay, and I will link my little three-way corner rounder here. It's my favorite. And when you use my Amazon links, of course, I get a teeny tiny little commission, so that's always appreciated. Of course, always check your local scrapbook store first, because we want to keep our stores open and support our store owners. And if you're wondering, you know, what kind of scanner printer do I have? It's just a basic Canon Pixma. TR8620 is the actual model. It's a little bit older now, but that's what I've been using for a long time. And it is an inkjet printer. So that's how I scanned everything. So we're all cut out. Here they are. And the great thing about doing this as opposed to actually using these, see the size difference? These are coated, so you'd have to either gesso on these or sand these or do something probably to apply anything to them. In this case, we do not have to do that, especially with what I'm going to do today. So here's my thought. I have some really pretty prints. These are all from My Porch Prints, which I will link. It's an Etsy shop that I really love, and I have bought several things from. Digital download printables. Okay, so I picked 4 that I really liked for my playing cards, and I printed them on this Avery, it's number 8665, clear 8.5 by 11 pack of 25 labels. They call them labels, but they're just full sheets. See, full sheet shipping labels, they call them. But what they do is they create sort of a washy, translucent sticker out of anything you print on them. And this is inkjet friendly. They may have a laser friendly one if you are a laser printer user, but I think most of us are using inkjet printers at home. So look for that if you're interested in this after you see how it works. Okay, so I'm just going to cut, let's say, this one out right here, and it's on that sticker paper. And this is wonderful if you still want to see something through the background of something. So for example, let's use the 3 of hearts and let's get our little sticker going here. And this does have these nice little breaks in the paper back here to make it super easy to peel and stick. Now you might want to work on a non-stick craft surface, but I'm just going to go for it here on my silicone mat. Okay, lovely. So you can see how you can see completely through. Now this image came short of my card up here. That's okay, I can ink that later to kind of camouflage that. Okay, and we are going to do, I'm going to do like 4 different styles of altered playing cards here. So this first one will be the most basic, and of course I'm trimming off all that sticker that I applied. You could fold it around to the back. It just depends on what you're going to do on the back, but I find that this is going to reduce the bulk by just trimming it away. Okay, at this point, if you wanted to sand lightly, you could, because this sticker paper has a little bit of a sheen to it. And really, if you just want, if you're going to ink the edges, you'd want to sand this just ever so slightly. I think it's going to be just fine with just a tiny bit of sanding. And by the way, I've made these playing cards when I scan them 3.5 inches wide, which means that the length of them is probably 5, yeah. So 5 inches. Okay, so I'm just going to ink it up. And I'll go a little bit heavier across the top here. We had that area that didn't have the image there. Okay, so I would give that just a little bit of time to dry instead of handling it too much, just because of that sticker paper. And we'll put that one aside for a minute and think about what we're going to put on the back. So I'm going to make a little bit of a hinge. I think I want this one to hinge this way, so we're going to put a little hinge on this side here. So we know that the height of our hinge is going to be the 5 inches, and then I think I'm going to make it about a 1/2 inch hinge. So I just grabbed this scrap of that same cardstock. Now this is not the same thickness. This is a 65 pound, I believe, just because we don't need the hinge to be that thick and heavy. So I'm just going to cut 5, and then I said a 1/2 inch, so for a total of 1 inch. And then I will score that down the middle at a 1/2 inch. So a 1/2 inch will attach to the back of my card, and the other half will go onto my junk journal page. And of course, we won't see this flap when we get done. But that folds so much easier when you score with the grain of the paper. If we go against it, that's when you sometimes get the cracking and problems there, and it doesn't have a nice, clean, sharp score. Okay, so I will attach this to the back. Of course, I will re-round that corner after I get this on here. So let me do that real quick. So I just used some liquid glue. Give that a second to dry before I handle it too much. But you can see that now it's going to have that nice little score and be a flap. Let's see, we can take our scissors at this point. We could use the corner rounder, but now we're working with double thick paper, so I'm just going to use my scissors, kind of round that off. Same thing over here. And then we can see a little bit of that white, so let's go ahead and ink that edge too. Okay, cool. So my idea for these cards is they're going to be journaling cards for me in my junk journal. So I'm just going to keep it really simple and have some like lined or grid paper on the back so it's easy to write on. So what you're looking at is a sheet from my Harmonious Hodgepodge papers with Elizabeth Craft Designs. I will link this below. This is just one of the sheets, but I love these rules here. I love a little bit of this red. So I have a scrap of it right here rather than cutting into a new sheet. And the 3.5 is this way. All right, so let's think about this. We want a little bit of the flower, maybe not all of it, so let's cut off some of that over here. The main idea is to have enough room for journaling. So we'll make this the 3.5, and then we can get rid of the bottom part there, so we have 5. So I think that's so much prettier to have on the back than rather than just a bunch of rules and lines. That's why I chose that. So I will round the corners and I get that on the back of there. Before I get that on there, I did ink in that fold because as I tested this out, I did have a little bit of a gap there. So I didn't want to see white in there. So I just kind of inked that all up. And you know, I don't know what I'll do with that yet. You could always put a little washi there or something decorative. But for now, not knowing exactly where it's going to land in my book and what's going to happen, I'm just going to wait and see. Eventually I may put a photo over that flap underneath this. So it doesn't hurt. You can't have your whole junk journal planned out at the start. That's the idea, is really it's something that you build upon as you go, especially for me. Okay, so that's beautiful, and that's the simplest one that we can make right there. You can, of course, go ahead and embellish this further. You know, you can put tickets here and there. Here's a pink ticket that might look nice. A green ticket. I like this one or this one. I just had these in my stash, and so I think I'll just go ahead and get one on there real quick. Okay, and I have decided I want to cut this off and put it at the top. I started to put it here, but then it was kind of covering up all the pretty stuff on my card, so cut that away. Now I'm going to save that little teeny tiny thing for something else. All right, whoops, get this on here. Just up at the top there, I think that'll be good. Okay, cute. You could put a little clip on there if you wanted to. You could put a little hinge over here if you wanted to. There's so many things you can do. I did grab my little bee stamp, and this is from my Love and Roses stamp set. I think that I want to just kind of add a bee right there, perhaps. Or there, perhaps? No, I think down here would be good. Now you could stamp it and use the matching die and cut it out and color it and all that stuff and pop it on there. But I'm going to stamp it right on there. And yes, I could put that bee stamp on a block and give it a go, but I'm just not 100% sure I'm going to get a good impression on the first try. So I'm going to use my little mini Misty here and some black ink. Just some VersaFine permanent ink. Okay, this way, if I don't get it right the first time, I get a second try, a third try, but that looks pretty good. I'm happy. Okay, cool. And I've just decided I'm going to put some of this ribbon. I found this ribbon that I forgot I had. It's got bees on it. So I inked a little bit around the edges because actually, I'm not going to glue this. I'm not going to glue this. I'm going to staple this. Okay, so that's how it looks from the inside. That's how it looks from the outside. Again, this is a very simple, basic one. You could do so much more to this. You could stitch through here. You could, you know, draw lines in black pen if you like. It's all up to you, but let's just keep this first one simple and go on to the second style. So for our second one, let's make a little pocket one. It may also have a hinge, but I think we're going to use this one here for the background pocket part. So again, this is printed on that sticker paper, shipping label, and let's just make it easy and follow these things on the back. So easy. Okay, and this time I'm going to turn it sideways so I can kind of get my head over this and see where it's going to land. And we don't care about the bottom if it doesn't go all the way to the bottom, because this is going to be the pocket part. And I just love how that looks already. It's so pretty to be able to see through to the card on the back, right? So mainly we wanted to see that sunflower, and then we're going to have a little pocket right here. Okay, and to make our pocket, since we have this scrap piece here, I'm thinking that matches nicely and it doesn't cover up too much. So let's make our pocket go, I like that there. So maybe we'll make the pocket come this way. So we just have to make sure that we figure that all out so it fits. So I'm just going to take a pencil, and it's going to be a slightly diagonal pocket. So we'll just kind of trace so we know where to cut this out. Okay, and I'll cut this away. And from that same paper, we might as well fussy cut ourselves out a little moth here, just as some ephemera. This just saves time going to my stash of ephemera in my junk journal box. It's all right here in the paper. So I'll quickly fussy cut this out. We'll get that pocket on there, maybe add another little ticket. And this one will almost be done. Okay, kind of getting a loose plan here, but I'm having a thought. I think I want to grab another sheet from my Harmonious Hodgepodge. Actually, there it is right there, the border that I want. I've already cut one out, I guess. I got this wonderful border page on the back of this plain like red grid. Super nice. That would be nice for the back of this, the grid. But what I want to do, I think, is I want to do this kind of effect to my pocket, just to make it a little bit deeper. I think that's going to look nice. This seems a little bit shallow, and I feel like, you know, the pink on pink needs to be broken up a little bit. So we're just going to take a piece of this and do that. So I'll just snip that, and we'll get a little glue on here. You could use another piece a little bit larger than this and make it a double pocket. There's all kinds of things you can do. It's yours to play with and do what you wish. Okay, so I'm just going to give it about just about 1/4 of an inch hanging off. Give that a second to dry. We'll ink that edge, of course, and then trim that extra. I think we can do it now. Okay. You know, it's a small thing, but it makes a bit of a difference than just having a simple single plain pocket. Have a little bit of glue there. Okay, so let's get our pocket on here. And because it's a pocket, of course, you don't want to put glue over the whole thing, just 3 sides. Just a thin bead. I'm using art glitter glue. You can use whatever you like that you fancy. Okay, just line that up. A little bit long on this side, so we may have to trim that up a little bit. Also, something I like to do, and I show this a lot, I take either a ruler or the tip of my bone folder and give it a little bit of like a pucker, you know, so it kind of bows out a little bit. That way your pocket isn't super duper flat, and if you wanted to put something in there that's kind of thick, now you have created a little bit of space, and I don't have to trim anything off. All right, so now we're going to glue this probably over here, and my little moth over here. I think that's going to look good, and that will be that. So we're going to cut this away again, because we don't need all of that. Get this on here. You could staple this on if you want to have that kind of look to it. I'm just going to glue it probably about midway, like so. Maybe I should have come down a little bit, but that's okay. And then my little moth guy, we could put him on a tilt. Oh, I think I like the tilt. Do we like the tilt? Oh, maybe not. Sorry. Sorry if you liked it. Not gonna happen. It looks good both ways. It doesn't matter. I just know some of y'all are watching and you're like, no tilt or tilt, yes. And then I just do whatever I want after I asked you. Okay, that's pretty sweet. Well, let's do something to the back and finish this one up. And just like we did before, we're going to put our little hinge over here. And I inked in the area there, same as before. And I've selected this to go here for my journaling. So we'll get that in there. Again, this is the back of my border page in the Harmonious Hodgepodge paper collection. Okay, that's on there. It looks beautiful. Now, what would go in the pocket? Here's an idea. Regular size playing cards. You could alter that as well and put it in there, and wouldn't that be cute? But I don't know what I want in my pocket yet. So for me, it's just going to stay this way until it's in my journal and I'm writing in it and, you know, using my journal for whatever I have planned, whether it's a trip or whatnot, and then I'll decide what will go in the pocket then. Okay, for our third one, I think I would like to do one that has sort of a slit or slot, whatever you want to call it, to slide something in and out of it, like a side-loading little pocket. So we're going to use this image, still on the sticker paper. This is going to go right down the middle. So we'll get that on there first, because we can cut through all these layers to make the slit. Okay, maybe make this right down the center. I got to get this in front of me, kids. Hold on one second. You can still see the diamond through there. Lovely. Okay, I'll trim this out and we'll get a little slit in there. To make a slit, there are a number of dies from Elizabeth Craft Designs that you could use, or you could just cut your own. And what I mean is, I'll show you the die first. So there's a couple of different options here. Back when I was doing the December Day by Day online class, which is still offered, it's just a little older now because it was 2023. There is this little die here, and it has the cute little stitch marks, and you can tell by looking at it probably that that is going to cut a little slit or slot. But there is this one as well, 2074. The post mailbox has a small one here, and that's really small, probably too small for our purpose. But it also has this bar right here. It has no stitches, it's not fancy, from the December Day by Day kit. I think that's going to work nicely. And so I've got it on my cutting mat plate here, and I'm going to put it right in the center and run that through my machine. All right, and so on this one, I'm not going to make this one into a flap. We're actually just going to do any kind of journaling is going to be on a tag that goes in and out of here. And of course, we're going to put a backing on here, and then we can put this right onto our page. So I have picked the smallest tag die from 2055, the tab 4 with tags die set from Elizabeth Crafts. And I've also picked this little topper piece. So I'm going to die cut something from this die. It fits in there perfectly, and then we'll adorn it with that. I think this is going to work great. This is another piece of scrap from my Harmonious Hodgepodge paper, and it matches so nicely with a little bit of tealy blue flowers over there. So I'm going to die cut that, and then I think we'll use a green, sort of a green like that, which is also in my paper collection, for the topper. love this because I'm using up scraps, which is always a good thing, especially for a junk journal. That's kind of the idea. So that's the paper that I'm going to use for my little topper. So I can turn that this way. My little die cutting machine is the Empress Mini from Anna Griffin. I love it. Scooch this over. And we'll just die cut these together at the same time. And I love this little plate because it's magnetic. Everything's sucked right on there. You don't have to tape anything down. Alrighty, so I went ahead and die cut 2 out of that paper just to make this a nice strong tag since it's going in and out of that slot. And there's my little fold over thingy. That's cute. And I cut a piece of fairly sturdy cardstock to go underneath here. Now we can't just glue these together, of course, because we have to be able to get our little tag in the slot. So what I do is I get it in there, check how far in I want it to go. I think I want it to hang out here just a little bit like that. So I'm going to flip it around, grab my pencil, and just sort of make a little tick line where we don't want any glue, and everywhere else can get the glue. Okay, so everywhere beyond there. At this point you can use liquid glue or tape runner or whatever you like. I think I'll go with tape runner and then hit the outside edges with the liquid glue. So we'll give that a second to dry, ink the edges again, and we can slide our tag into place. Giving that glue a little bit of time to dry, I'll show you, I want to maybe embellish this a little bit, and I've got these awesome, they are sort of like a washi sticker. They were given to me by Christine Slack in Wisconsin when I was there teaching at her retreat house. She just gifted me all these packs. She just gave them to me. So I'm trying to pick one that I think will work nicely, and I kind of like the red. There's so many good choices here, and I just want one lady, I think. Oh, she's pretty. Oh, that's who I want. That's who I want right there. Okay, now she's somewhat of a washi sticker, so we're going to see through her a little bit. I kind of tested this out. It's not quite as transparent as my shipping sticker label paper I've been using. Not quite as transparent. So we don't have to worry about seeing through her completely. She does have a little bit of a flower behind her face, but it's really not too obvious, and I think that looks really sweet. I went back to my border paper and I cut a little piece of the ruler border. And there's also a little border that has a bunch of bees in these pretty little circles. So I used a 5/8 inch circle punch here and punched out 3 of those. Kind of coordinates with my tag. And so I just need to decide how I want to do this. And I think I want that there. And this one got kind of cut off, so I'm going to have that going off the, maybe the top of the page. A little bit like so, and maybe one on top over here. Do we need a third one down here by her feet over here? Do we even need it? I like that. We can put it at the bottom. Well, I'm not going to ask you because I don't want to make you mad. I'm going to put it there. Okay, I think I'm pretty happy with that one. Of course, you could always put, oh, a little stiff right now. You could always put some pretty twine or some dangle charms or something off of your little tag here. But for now, I'm just going to leave it like that. So we've got a plain one, we've got a pocket one, and we've got a slit, kind of side-loading pocket one. And so I have one more that I want to make into a frame, and that'll be it for today. Okay, so for our queen. Now you could cut away and do the frame first, but I'm just going to cover up everything with my sticker this time and cut away the center after the fact. We may still be able to use the queen herself. We'll see. And this is more than big enough. This is very pretty on here. So nice. I just love that sticker paper. It's the best. Okay, I'll trim that out, and then I'm going to cut away that center part with my craft knife. Away. And I'm just going to take 2 gentle passes to get through all these layers. I think I'm through. Yep. So I'll do that all the way around. Okay, lovely. And yeah, I would use that on something else. You could make it into a tag, anything you want. I'm just going to keep that, set that aside. And I'm going to ink all the edges to this, and we're going to come up with something to layer onto here and make this into a nice frame. To decorate our frame, of course, we could fussy cut some images, flowers. I don't know if that matches great. This is another sheet of my Harmonious Hodgepodge, but I don't think that's going to work, and I think this flower is a little too pink, so I grabbed some 49 in Market like laser cuts, and I see some green and brown pieces here that I think are going to be pretty, and I also see this that might work nicely, and these are nice and, you know, kind of cardstock thick, so that could look really nice in the background. Maybe some leaves. So I'll punch a few of these out and give them a try and see how they look. I'm trying to find the name of this collection here. Wherever. Mini laser cut elements. So it's a travel theme, but you know, with the butterflies and the bow and the leaves and the flowers. It's wonderful. And then I also grabbed some old botanical rub-on transfers from 49 in Market. These have been picked over pretty good, but I think we can add a few little things around our frame with these as well. So let me get a thought going here and get started. And I think just for some texture, I'm going to put a little bit of lace kind of peeking through back here. Got this little scrap that's very pretty. So I think I want that just about like that. So I've got some Fabri-Tac at the ready, and I'm just gonna tack that on there, cause why not? Just kind of pull it a little bit tight so it doesn't droop. Okay, give that a second to dry. Okay, looks good. Now I've trimmed that out. I'm gonna get this on here. These are so delicate, just so skinny. I think I'm gonna put that up there. I'll just trim that top part off and a bit. I have this little bow. I think I like that. Put that right in the middle there. Okay. And then down here we've got this pretty leafy thing. So I won't put glue on this one over here, just down the center area, because it's going to go off our frame otherwise. Doesn't matter if it's on there. Okay, so let's come up kind of high with that. That's pretty up there. And then we've got this one that we can put down here. Love it. Make sure we get the glue where it needs to be. And then we do have this little butterfly down here. No, he's lost. Up here. Okay, I like that. Okay, now we have to let that glue dry and think about rub-ons. Okay, and that's how that one finished out. I did add always up there as a rub-on. So this one I will not put into the book. You know, I may tuck it in there, but eventually it will get glued down with a photo or journaling or something in there. I just don't know yet, so we're just going to let it hang out just like this. Same with the rest of these. I don't know if that I'll put them in my book right away. But we do have now 4 finished altered playing cards, custom size, super easy, 4 different ways, and I hope that you give them a try because it was just so simple and so much fun. And that sticker paper from Avery, that is the game changer here. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more junk journal videos in the future. I do a video every week, so I'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching.